Okay guys, so I've gone through and base coated the Sandbag Emplacements with the spray paint. So what I've done is I just gave it all a spray with just a cheaper style spray paint which you can get down here in New Zealand called Plasticoat. So I did that with the matte black, and then I just gave it a light overspray with just the end of a can of Citadel white, just to get a little bit of pre-shading in there. And then I've gone through and put about, I think it's 4 coats of bleached bone on the sandbags. Now I'm using the old Citadel paints, so the coverage of the bleached bone is actually pretty bad. That's why it needed quite a few coats, and it's probably gone on a little bit thick. Next time I do these up, I'm actually going to get some of the foundation paints or the base paints. I think it's Denim Stone, just to build up that base layer a little bit faster, and use another formula for the bleach bone just so it works a bit better. But so all of these are base coated, and now what I'm going to go ahead and do is just come in on these bits where the little bit of the bleach bone has come on the black. I'm just going to top it, sort of fix those up in black, and then I'm going to start laying down the dry brush colours on here, so I'll be back once that's done. So I've gone through on the 4 Sandbag Emplacements and just painted in black the asphalt areas, and then I'm going to start building up the dry brushing of the sort of rubble and stuff like that. So I will be back in a moment. I am planning on using, what colour is it? Scorch brown, this fellow here, as the first layer on the sort of dirt rubble areas, and then from there we start building up some lighter browns and also some lighter greys and whites and things like that. Okay, so I've fired up some more light just so you can get some of the contrast which is coming up with the dry brushing. So now in the rubble sort of areas around the back of the base and around the front, basically anywhere which isn't the raised asphalt texture, it's been dry brushed with the scorched bone, and then scorched brown, and then I've gone over with steel brown to start putting the first top layer of dry brushing on there. One thing to be very careful of when you're using scorched brown especially is when you start putting a lighter brown over top, you need to make sure that it's 100% dry, because it tends to mix if it's still wet, and it comes out sort of a light pinkish colour, sort of pinky brown, which doesn't look too good. So yep, there's one of the bases here. I'll just grab another one. There's another one here. So I'll go through, and from here on out I'm going to put down a layer of snake white leather in some places, and also some of the foundation paints, Khemri brown and others, and I'm going to start putting down some of the grey dry brushing as well. So here is the base after I've finished doing the dry brushing. So I went over the brown areas with some bestial brown, then snake white leather, and then I went over with some of the Khemri brown foundation paint as well. And then I've dry brushed with foundation grey, Astronomicum grey, over top of both the browns and the blacks on the concrete area, just to tie them in together and to give a bit more texture to the sort of asphalt areas. And I've also started going over the steel and the razor wire and stuff with some bolt gun metal. So there's a few more bits of detail to pick out, like these bags and weapons and things like that. The zombie head on the top. Once those are done, then I'm going to put the wash over the whole thing. And that's going to really start popping out these sandbags. The paint's looking a bit too thick because I had problems getting paint coverage, but the wash will tone that down a lot. And then the final stage will be adding on the rust effects and the weathering powders. So I'll just grab another one of them to show you. So this is the second base with the bits of sort of chipped broken wood. They need a few more dry brushes, probably up to bleach bone, just to bring out the wood texture. I need to paint up these bags and the little sort of skull comms unit light thing, doohickey, whatever it is, in the power cables there. And then we have the impaled commissioner piece. Again, he's got to be picked out with the colours and stuff, and I'm going to fill in the shield on the back. I may paint that up in Imperial Fist colours, I'm not too sure just yet, and the same with the helmet on the ground here. And then finally is the last of the razor wire bases. So again, this needs the steel work to be done, but that's all going to be done in the next few minutes, so I'll be back shortly. Hey guys, welcome back. So I have put the first wash onto the sandbags, and it's starting to make the colour pop a little bit, and I'm a little bit happier with how the paint's come out. So this is a custom wash which I make up out of 50% Ajax Earthshade, or probably about 35 to 40%, and the rest none oil, I think it is. So this is the wash that I use on pretty much everything I paint these days. So my World Eaters get it, my Skeletons get it, and most of my terrain gets it. So you see it covers really well, nicely into these cracks and crevices, just tones down the sort of brightness of the bleach bone. So this is the first base, and then one of the second ones. Now these are coming out really nicely now that the steel reinforcing rods and stuff like that is painted up. So there's going to be some Model Mates rust liquids going on those, but I'm happy with how these are coming. As you see, there's some areas of sort of dirt and stuff built up inside the sandbags, just to help differentiate between the different bases and add a bit more difference in there. And the third one. And then lucky last, number 4. So now that wash is in place, I'm going to go through and pick out the rest of the detail. You see I'm starting to do it on the guns and stuff like that. So I'm going to fill in the rest of the base colours on those, start putting down some of the Model Mates rust liquids, and also I've got some AK Interactive products that I'm going to play around with on these ones, some streaking grime and some oil as well, and then the weathering powders and stuff I usually use. So give me about a week. I'm fairly busy at work the next few days, and then I'm graduating next week, so it's a fairly hectic week, but I am working on these, and also I have a little sneak peek to show you as well. Just a second. So this is one of the 4 Art Deco ruined buildings I picked up from Laser Cut Card. Now you may have seen these on Edic Bear's channel. I think he's done a review of these. I know Kablam's has as well. They're really nice kit, heaps of detail on them. And yeah, it took me a little while to do the first one, but this one I put together in about 15-20 minutes or so. So yeah, I'm really happy with these. I'll be doing them their own video in a little bit of time. I've sort of got to come up with some ways I'm going to texture them and add some more detail and stuff like that. But thanks for watching, guys. Bear with me, and I'll have these finished sandbags up in probably a week. Cheers.